Yes, sir. We're getting, as soon as I can get an amount from Mr. Michael, I'm sure that it will pick up. But we've got a PayPal. We've got a PayPal account now. So. Yes, sir. I didn't know what.
Well, I wonder about the camera. I thought, what's going on with the?
Tell me about your relationship with Miss Laura. When did you first discover her or have an attachment for the statue?
Probably this time last year, I started stopping by with my new camera. My husband gave me a 500mm lens one day, and I came up and I've stopped and taken several pictures of her. And back on February the 9th, when the sleet started and our big snowstorm, I stopped by that afternoon, and it was almost 5 o'clock, and I had noticed that her hand had been broken off, and it laid there for several weeks.
And then you decided one day, hey, I better get that hand before
yes, sir.
somebody takes off with it?
Yes, sir. And then when we did come up that afternoon, as we came down the hill, I almost broke into tears, and I told my husband, I said, somebody's got it, somebody's taking it. So we put out a all points bulletin, and I was asking everyone, and I called people that I thought that might be interested and possibly have the hand. And we just basically thought that if we could maybe offer a small reward, that maybe we could get the original hand back. And on 9/11, Mrs. Owens called and said that they had retrieved the hand. And the family did not even want the reward. They want to use the reward money and put it on the replication fund.
Where'd they find the hand?
It was on one of the walls over here. They were playing the new game online called Geocache, where they hide, trinkets. And it was on one of the walls over here, and when the family saw it, the wife would not touch it. She wanted to leave immediately and leave it alone, so they had someone come and pick up the hand.
Now, you have it at your house?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's right here. I brought it.
Oh, you brought it?
Yes, sir.
But that's where you keep it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For right now, yes.
And your daughter thinks this is a little creepy?
This is a little creepy, and as she said, it's bad juju. We've been to New Orleans enough to visit Madame Laveau, so she's calling it bad juju to have the hand in the house, but it's safe for right now.
Yeah, well, good for the hand, anyway.
Yes, sir.
Now, what are you hoping to do with this?
We're hoping to restore Ms. Laura back to her elegance and her beauty, and replicate what's missing and have it reattached. And hopefully, I was thinking maybe we could put up a placard and say, please do not climb. First of all, it's quite dangerous. And second of all, me being a former history teacher, I think it's just very important out of the historical aspect, because she is of a likeness of a person who is not a historical figure. And to be on the Smithsonian list, and I just think it's extremely important that we get this particular piece fixed.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of folklore around.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell me some of the stories about her.
That she would twist on her base.
Okay.
And that you come by and she would have blood dripping from her fingernails. She's killed her children with, supposedly that was a pick, and it's not a pick that she's been leaning on. I was just forbidden from ever coming up here because she always looked very, very mean, but when you zoom in actually on her face, you can notice how absolutely gorgeous and beautiful she was at 38 years of age.
Yeah. What was her husband's name?
Clay.
Okay.
Clay, G.C. Clay Kelly.
And tell me the story real quickly about him erecting the statue. Why did he do that?
Out of a memorial to her and out of his love, he sent it supposedly to France. It was sculpted, and she passed away in 1890, and then by the time it returned back to Kosciuszko, the gentleman had remarried. He was hopefully going to be able to see her likeness from his what I would consider a mansion in Kosciuszko from the third-story window. And I think by the time it got back, maybe he had remarried. So henceforth, that's why Miss Kelly is probably facing south, as to not facing the home.
That sounds good to me.
Yes, sir. But for him to be even remarried, he is laid in this estate.
And what's your progress so far on getting it repaired?
I'm talking to a gentleman in Eupora, Mr. Michael Davison, at the Stone Guild, and Mr. Michael is working with me, and he wanted several shots. I came up Criminal Minds and took several views of her, and I've given him that information. He wants us to get on a ladder and kind of hold up what we have, and then he's probably going to have to just make a trip down from Eupora and actually, climb up and see before we can actually get a firm cost. Right now, I know it's probably $2,500. I'm gonna try to keep him as low as I possibly can, but that's where we are right now. So we are taking donations.
Yeah, this is not something you want to just get a wad of epoxy and mix it up.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. 100. He could scale her. This is rough. The damage is all right here. What I imagined they were doing was climbing up, and they would catch hold of that anchor and try to pull themselves up. And I imagine the last person who did that, yes, sir, and broke the handle. And it came off. That's my surmise because all of the roughness. Yes, sir. That's what I'm afraid of. Right here. But there's a little, there's a little crack and everything. You can see there's a chip right here.
That's right.
So I've gotten up here. There's a chip right here. So all of the seemingly damage. And see, this is chipped right here. I imagine that's what's happening. They get up here like this and put a foot up here, and we catch hold to that and shimmy up.
Hang on right there. Let me get a shot of you on there, sir.
Oh my God!
Yeah. You gotta show me how you do this.
We're gonna damage everything.
I didn't know I was gonna be. I didn't know I was gonna be climbing on her. Like I said, this is just my detective work. I was not here when it happened.
Get some. Okay, kind of put your hands away.
Well,
Okay, now then reach up there where you think.
I mean, yeah.
Kind of up that way and then.
Chewing from a lady the other day got plotted crossway.
Yeah, that looks good. Okay.
Honest opinion, I don't think she was at. Why not cut her head off? Why cut her hand?
And on top of that, if you wanted the souvenir, why didn't they take it with them?
Exactly.
Give me an hold for them and then get shot.
And see what was so bad? It stayed like right there. I would come up and I'm like,
Oh, okay, it was right on the.
it was right, and I would leave it because I was. It's none of your business. Leave it alone. That's coming from my dad. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He kept going like 2 years ago. I know what you meant.
Was really
He told me
2 terms of prison.
10 years.
You quit here.
told me to
Now he
quit.
fulfilled.
Let's take it back.
That's why.
That's right. I always thought she was a scary lady until I was in getting on the
His first term.
and I thought, yeah, absolutely gorgeous.